Hey everyone, Jake here from the Web3 podcast. And this last episode, I talked about a tool called the Ethereum attestation service. And I just wanted to give you a quick little deep dive into the tool because I really do think it's cool. And I wanted to show you a little bit about what we did to actually certify that this most recent podcast we did was real. For anyone out there that's a creator like me, you know that if you're doing podcasts, if you're making music, if you're making art, AI is just going to start, copying that more and more. It's really hard to kind of protect and verify that something actually was authentic, and it's hard to, when it goes online to start really controlling where it goes. So what's cool about the Ethereum attestation service and blockchain technology in general is that you can actually hash data and then track that data across the internet. So for example, here you can see that using the Ethereum attestation service, I was able to actually create a podcast. So what I did was I looked at the hash of this podcast, and I tested on the Arbiter network that this had in fact been created. So you can actually trace that educoinapp.eth is me as I do more things on chain. And if someone else was to kind of now post a Web3 podcast or try and create it, you'd be able to actually see who created it and what their address is. Even cooler is that we were actually able to verify that the guest was on that podcast. So, for example, if tomorrow I released a pod on Web3, I could probably test that I created it, but I could probably use a deep fake of Vitalik or Joe Rogan or Tom Brady on there and try and do a fake interview with them to draw likes and gain popularity. But what actually we've done here is actually made a schema so that the participant can use their on-chain address to go ahead and attest the truth of this. So this is just a really cool way, I think, to use this. For those that are non-technical, this might look a little confusing. Things like hashing or UIDs might kind of overwhelm you. So the interface will get more simple, but the TLDR of this is that I would recommend that if you run a creative agency or you're creating a lot of content, YouTube videos, podcasts, music, that you consider something like this to kind of verify truth and start logging this on chain so that it can be referenced and that copycats can kind of be matched against it. So this was something that I had done recently, and it's pretty relevant to this latest pod we did, so I figured I'd post it. I hope everyone's having a great week out there, and that if you are a creator, that it's going well and that AI is helping you and not stealing from you. So have a good one and talk to y'all later.